common question or a common myth that we believe Australians have got wrong. Focus and the goal is just to work very hard and pay off that home as soon as possible. Hi, it's Derek Wong, investor, international speaker and serial entrepreneur. I'm here with Alan from Division Property Group, and today I wanted to have a chat with Alan with regards to a common question or a common myth that we believe Australians have got wrong. I believe, and I hear quite often, that the Australian dream is to buy your own home, and the focus and the goal is just to work very hard and pay off that home as soon as possible, so that by the time you retire, you just have a fully paid off home. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, we're both in property and you're in finance, right? So you hear that all the time. So I mean, look, it depends on the stage of life. I mean, if you're later in life and you want to be conservative, that's probably a good idea. But in your earlier years or mid-cycle, middle age, it's probably a good idea to not do that, because you've got all that equity in that house that's not used. It's a lot of money that can be used and deployed somewhere else. Like if someone has $1 million property and they pay it all off, there's potentially $800,000 that they could be extracting to invest. Yeah, and $800,000 you could buy how many properties in, say, Brisbane, South East Queensland? Two or three.
2 properties.
Yeah, so it's a lot of money. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so look, paying off a mortgage that is non-tax deductible, you're essentially saving the interest rate, which is the 6% per year that you're paying. Focusing on paying that off or making additional payments to offset that home loan is only going to save you 6%, and that debt is not tax deductible. Whereas if you then instead use that money, use that extra savings that you're able to put away to buy another property, then you could be making far better returns. Depending on the areas that you buy, the projects that you get involved in, you can get a much better return than just 6%. In situations where someone has fully paid off their home, what would you say are the options? Should they consider selling, or are there any other ways for them to be able to further invest?
Yeah, well, I mean, selling, there's a lot of costs involved, right? So you've got to pay commissions, and then you've got to go and rebuy another property, so there's all that stress and heartache. And then stamp duty on the way in on the next property. So you're really behind the 8 ball, probably 5-6% behind the 8 ball with that transaction, right? So whereas if you keep the property, go to you, for instance, and refinance, get that money out again and deploy it into some other investments, to me it's a lot more efficient, isn't it?
And when you are not selling, you're not paying capital gains tax. You can finance against it, essentially tax-free. Like the debt's already been paid off, you finance it up to 80%, and using that money, you're then able to continue to grow your property portfolio, further invest in other investment opportunities, other properties, other projects.
Yeah. So property, say if you got 200,000, 80% you can go buy $1 million property, and if the real estate market grows at 7-8% a year, that's nearly 30% growth on that cash, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you do that, if you got $1 million property, you got another 3 lots that you can go deploy. That's a lot of leverage, isn't it? Yeah. So make a lot. Yeah, it's a smart move. Yeah.
And that's where you can actually scale, right?
Yeah.
You know, instead of relying on one and going again, you're basically extracting that equity, and then you're able to buy 3, and all 3 properties can grow at the rate of 7%. And then over time, if you keep on doing that, you're able to retire with not just one property that's fully paid off, but you have a property portfolio that, you know, has grown. And eventually, when you reach a certain age and the timing is right, you can then look to reduce your debt levels, but you'll still have more property and a bigger wealth base.
Bigger pool, yeah. Sell some, keep some, and then hold the rest, and maybe rent some out. Yeah. Good strategy.
So if someone was interested in working together with you, what's the best way to reach out to you?
We're a Division Property Group. We've got we're in LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we've got a Facebook and a website. So just look us up there. We've got phone numbers all on those portals. So happy to chat, and looking forward to talking to you if you're interested.
Awesome. Thanks for the chat, Alan.
No worries,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.